Alright, so I hope you all are doing well today. Today, I want to do the first video in this month's set of community videos, and we've got a ton of questions for this round, so I'll do my best to answer at least some of them. Thank you for sending them in, I really do appreciate it. Since we get so many, I'll actually be taking some from the Discord in the next batch, so if you want to ask a question and want to be early, feel free to join our Discord, and I will ping you all when I'm taking another batch of questions. Now, before we hop into this, today's video is sponsored. This one is brought to you by Project Orochi. Project Orochi sells this really cool Japanese-inspired streetwear with a few of the pieces nodding to For Honor, like the Kensei tee or the Viper's Retreat. But there are also just a lot of really cool designs. The Fire and Blood tee is sick, the Oni tee is great, and the newer stuff they released like the Saitama tee, the Sword Saint hoodie, and this really nice Arrows tee that I plan on grabbing is all awesome. So be sure to check out the shop. The link will be in the description. Thank you to Project Orochi for sponsoring this video, and let's get right into it. So starting things off, we've got Etu Skit, a good friend of mine who has a Twitch channel that you should follow. He says, "Can I have Smooch? Also, what do you miss in the older versions of For Honor that you would like to see returned in the current version of For Honor?" Yeah, this is an easy one. It's Minion Kill animations. Look, say what you will about efficiency, effectiveness, pikemen, so on and so on. They were fucking cool. I get it, I've heard all the reasons and whatnot, but that doesn't stop me from missing them because they really added character to the heroes. Watching Centurion go to town on minions was awesome. Watching Raider go toss a minion was awesome. Peacekeeper looked amazing just gliding through with finesse. Lawbringer would backhand a minion. Almost all of them were beautiful. If you're new to the game or hopped in after Marching Fire, I highly suggest looking up all the Minion Kill animations and watching them and just seeing how cool they were and how it sort of made these characters feel more like these legendary warriors who could take down these regular old foot soldiers with ease, who could only be rivaled by their peers, or these fabled warriors from lands far away, i.e. heroes from other factions. And I often think about what the Wulin or Year 3 heroes would look like with their own animations. Tiandi and Janhu would be so stylish. Janhu would crack skulls, Hitokiri would rasp along, BP would be BP, things like that. So yeah, to answer your question, Skit, that's what I miss. If it was ever possible to return them to the game, I'd be pretty happy. Next up, Zephaniah Thornton says, will they ever add Wulin maps or troops? Will they ever join the faction war? And will they ever get their own orders? I'm actually surprised this got so much attention on the poll. I mean, technically the Wulin did get a new map last season with Janhu, but it was a breach map, which is actually beautiful. It's probably my favorite looking map in this game, as I love its color and scale, but I'm assuming you're talking about Dominion here, and I'm really hoping they do. After seeing last season's new map, I'm all for seeing the Wulin get a nice, colorful Dominion map in the same vein as something like Temple Garden. As for orders, honestly, who knows? The Wulin have been in the game for about a year and a half now, and they still don't have their own orders, so I'm not holding my breath or anything, but I'd take anything over play 12 matches as a Vanguard. I think we can all agree that any sort of new orders would be great at this point. Now maybe it's because of the fact that not everyone has the Wulin or have any of them unlocked, but if that's the case, maybe just tag the Wulin along with another faction like the Samurai if it comes down to it, to give us the chance to level up our Wulin heroes faster. As for them ever getting to join the faction war, there's a part of me that wants to say that won't happen because it's been so long, but I still have hope. I don't know what UB has planned for the year, none of us do, but with us only receiving 2 heroes this year, I could see the faction war revamp being a thing that somehow fits into the story they're telling, especially with this truce going on and Tiandi making an appearance with the rest of the Vanguards. At the moment, the faction war isn't something I really care about. I just see it as a few free rewards every season, and I don't actively look at the map or deploy troops or anything like that anymore. So I think it'd be cool if UB revamped the faction war to make it more engaging and rewarding while putting the Wulin on the map, even if they don't have a lot of maps to play on. Elam Herc says, would you say that For Honor is straying away from its original idea of honorable, skillful battles in ancient times between ancient, deadly warriors? It's starting to just feel spammy and less serious. I'm not really going to comment on the idea of honorable, skillful battles because I don't think anyone knew how this game would turn out, as the art of battle system is unique. But you mentioned the game feeling spammy and less serious. I wouldn't say the game has become more spammy, it's just become faster. It plays so much faster than it did at launch. Also, there's the thing of players not really using the weaker parts of their heroes' kits, so you start seeing the same attacks get thrown out in whatever situation a player is in. As for the game feeling less serious, I'm going to use that statement to answer a few questions about how some were feeling the game was becoming silly. At launch, I'd say the game took itself much more seriously, with the smaller, more mysterious roster, and of course the base customization. There weren't really any silly emotes or finishers yet, nor were there a ton of colorful, flashy effects in the game yet, besides for, the base effects. Or that we, the players, took the game more seriously at the time, as it could pass itself off as a realistic simulator, and I say that so loosely, with everything being played slowly and more methodically. And without knowing what was going on, it made battles feel a bit more tense and, well, serious. Go back and look at the pre-release trailers and you'll see what I mean. I personally don't feel any sort of way towards how the game has evolved. The game is what it is now and I still enjoy it, I still play it, I still get the stuff they release, but the game has certainly changed. The Maypool says, do you think Ubi will increase the amount of XP boost, steal, and salvage to make more people buy the Battle Pass? I hope so. I think just about everyone agrees that we should get more of the filler stuff. Whether you like what's in the Battle Pass or didn't really care for it, everyone basically said the same thing about XP boost, salvage, and steal. If you're going to give it to us in the Battle Pass instead of other things, you've got to give us a lot more. Salvage is practically worthless to people who have played the game for more than 3 days, and if you really have to give us that, give us thousands of salvage, enough to buy a few XP tickets, as you get a lot of salvage from stuff you're going to inevitably scrap. XP tokens could be bumped up as that's not going to hurt anyone, and steal rewards would actually be pretty cool if they gave us more. There's a lot of stuff in this game that I want to buy, like the instruments for multiple heroes and the Valentine stuff, which is now gone, and it'd be cool to see a large chunk of steal be a reward. But to answer your question, yeah, I do believe they'll increase the rewards after, all the feedback. I don't think more people will buy the pass because of filler, but it would make the people who buy the pass anyways a bit more happy with their purchase. Alright, next up, JW says, do you think Ubi will increase the rep cap? If they were to raise it, what do you think would be a reward that would be satisfying for the grind? I wouldn't be surprised to see Ubi raise the rep cap again. If they do so, I would like to see, the number bumped up to 100. It seems like the right number to go with and sounds better to me. Saying, hey, I'm a rep 100 Kinsei sounds a lot better than I'm a rep 70 Kinsei, As for the reward for that sort of grind, I think it should be something really cool. The rep 70 emote it's alright, but I'm thinking it should be something like an X of finisher or some insane effect. I think if you put 100 reps into one hero, you deserve something worthwhile, and I think a cool finisher would be nice, but if that's too far out or gets in the way of seasonal finishers, an effect or an emote would be fine, as long as it's something really unique and something really different. Next up, Fuller Nation says, since light spam is a problem according to the community, how about decreasing the damage of lights to maybe around 5 to 7 damage, but leave the speed alone? Right now with most 15 damage lights, it only takes 10 lights to kill a warlord. What are your thoughts on this? This is something I cannot really get behind. I know some people want light damage reduced because they're faster, but I think if you were to ever reduce the damage of a light to 5 or 7 damage, that light would need to be extremely fast and only be used to start combos. And I wouldn't want to see that either because of how easy it will be to interrupt attacks that aren't armored. I can't really get behind lowering light damage because throwing lights is already risking taking these high damage light parries. You'd be throwing a 7 damage attack, and if it gets parried, you'd be eating 30 to 40 damage. I think that there would need to be a lot of other changes to the combat system before we lower light damage. Evan, scholar of the first simp, says, what do you think of the season so far? I think it's quite good, especially with the story, and the battle pass is easy to level up by playing Breach. Season is alright so far. I think it's too early to say definitively where this season will rank in my season's ranked list. Speaking of that, let me know if you guys want to see that video updated now that year 3 is over. Anyways, so far, it's okay. I'm a huge fan of Carousel of Fire. It's one of my favorite event modes, and I'm hoping that this entire year is filled with fun events for us to play and break up the usual grind. This season still has time. There's time for any of those surprises that UB talked about to pop up, and I'm hoping that they're really worth the wait, as without a yearly roadmap, we're just in the dark, so there isn't too much to say. I'm looking forward to how this story unfolds though, but to answer your question, I think this season is pretty alright. The launch wasn't as packed as a few other seasons, but I have hope. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. Thanks for sending the questions in. There will be a part 2 because there were so many good ones. I do want to know what you guys think, so be sure to talk to me down in the comments about anything we talked about in this video. And as always, if you like the video, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.